Hi, it's Amber or Ambie, and this is ambiekraftsreads, and I'm coming to you with TBR video. This is for March Mystery Madness and middle grade March. And March Mystery Madness, it was started by Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books and Troy from Troy Towel. It was started like I think 2016 or whatever, and it's just a readathon for the whole month of March where you read mystery books. And they've got six challenges, and I'm going to show you the books on my TBR for each challenge. So the first challenge is Shelf, and I got this book from the library shelf, so that's what I'm saying that it is. It's 8 keys, and I've already started it, and it's good. So I already started it, it's not much, but so yeah, I'll just read the back. For Elise, nothing has seemed right since middle school started. She gets tortured by her locker partner and can't get her homework done. A new baby moves into her house, interrupting her wonderful life with Uncle Hugh and Aunt Bessie. Worst of all, things with her best friend Franklin are just not the same as they used to be. Then Elise discovers a secret, a mysterious key labeled with her name. Could it be one of the 8 doors in the barn above Uncle Hugh's workshop? The ones that have been locked as long as she can remember? Could whatever's behind these doors be for her? On a quest to make sense of a complex gift left for her by her father before he died, Elise discovers the heart of a family and friendship and begins to unlock the biggest mystery of all, herself. So, I'm really interested in it. When I was reading, I read till she had just discovered the first key. So, I can't wait to get back into that. And the second one is Borrowed, and I borrowed this book from the library. Oh, this book, the first book, was by Suzanne LaFleur. This one, and it's Real Murders, the first Aurora Teagarden mystery. That's the series, is Aurora Teagarden, and it's by Charlaine Harris. And I'll read the back. Lawrencetown, Georgia may be a growing suburb of Atlanta, but it's still a small town at heart. Librarian Aurora Rowe Teagarden grew up there and knows more than enough about her fellow townsfolk, including which ones share her interest in the darker side of human nature. With this fellow crime buffs, Rowe belongs to a club called Real Murders, which meets once a month to analyze famous cases. It's a harmless pastime until the night she finds a member dead, killed in a manner that eerily resembles the crime the club was about to discuss. And as other brutal copycat killings follow, Rowe will have to uncover the person behind the terrifying game, one that casts all the members of Real Murders, herself included, as prime suspects or potential victims. Yeah. And this was made into a Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel movie, and the main character was played by Candace Cameron Bure, and if you don't know who that is, that's the one that played DJ, the oldest daughter on Full House. And then the next prompt is new, and this is new because it's a new genre and a new author to me. It's a thriller. And the author is Harlan Coben, and the book is 6 Years. And there's the author. I'll read the inside cover to you. 6 years have passed since Jake Fisher watched Natalie, the love of his life, marry another man. 6 years of hiding a broken heart by throwing himself into his career as a college professor. 6 years of keeping his promise to leave Natalie alone. And 6 years of tortured dreams of her life with her new husband Todd. But 6 years haven't come close to extinguishing his feelings, and when Jake comes across Todd's obituary, he can't keep himself away from the funeral. There he gets the glimpse of Todd's wife he's hoping for. But she is not Natalie. Whoever the mourning widow is, she's been married to Todd for almost 2 decades, and with that fact, everything Jake thought he knew about the best time of his life, a time he has never gotten over, is turned completely inside out. As Jake searches for the truth, his picture-perfect memories of Natalie begin to unravel. Mutual friends of the couple either can't be found or don't remember Jake. No one has seen Natalie in years. Jake's search for the woman who broke his heart, who lied to him, soon puts his very life at risk as it dawns on him that the man he has become may be based on a carefully constructed fiction. That just grabs me, and I just can't wait to read it. And then the next prompt is historical, and I'm going to be reading The Secret of the Old Clock, a Nancy Drew mystery story, and this is number 1. And it's by Carolyn Keene. And I don't see any description, but on the back it says, for cliffhanging suspense and thrilling action, read the Nancy Drew Mystery Stories, the world's most popular mystery series for young readers. Millions of fans have matched wits with Nancy Drew, helping her solve more than 50 baffling cases, from the secret of the old clock to the haunting mystery of the 13th Pearl. Join the fun. Start your collection of original hardcover Nancy Drew mysteries today. And it has the first 6 of the mysteries listed. And I hope to read them all. And the next one is, I said that was by Carolyn Keene, right? Okay, and the next one is foreign. And I'm going to read Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express, a Hercule Poirot mystery. And this is also has been turned into a movie. I think the movie might be out on video now or soon. But this is renowned as Agatha Christie's most famous mystery, Murder on the Orient Express, was inspired by 2 real-life crimes, which I didn't know, and by the author's own experience as being marooned on the fabled luxury train during Christmas of 1931. While en route from Syria to Paris, And see, from Syria to Paris, that's why it's the foreign. And the Nancy Drew Secret of the Old Clock is historical because it was wrote in 1963. Renowned as Agatha Christie's most famous mystery, Murder on the Orient Express was inspired by two real-life crimes and by the author's own experiences of being marooned on the fabled luxury train during Christmas of 1931. While en route from Syria to Paris in the middle of a freezing winter's night, the Orient Express is stopped dead in its tracks by a snowdrift. Passengers awake to find the train still stranded and to discover that a wealthy American has been brutally stabbed to death in his private compartment. Incredibly, that compartment is locked from the inside, with no escape into the wintry landscape. The killer must still be on board. Fortunately, the brilliant Belgian inspector Hercule Poirot is on board, having booked the last available berth. He launches an immediate and urgent investigation into this vexing crime, for which each of the 13 other passengers seem to have a motive. Yep, I think it's going to be good. Can't wait to read it either. And then, I don't have the last one, the one for opposite, because I'm reading it, or reading, on audio from Hoopla, and it's opposite because I've never read or listened to an audiobook before. I've always read physical books, so this is my opposite, and it's Hooked on Murder. It's I don't remember what the series is called, but it's like a crocheting mystery by Betty Hetchman. And then I'm going to tell you the middle grade March books. I'll tell you all the prompts, but I've only found a book for 2 of them. So, an award-winning book is the first prompt, and that book is Moon Over Manifest by Claire Vanderpool. And it has won, it says John Newbery Medal, but I've always just heard it the Newbery Medal of Honor for the most distinguished contribution to American literature for children. That's what it says on front. So on the back it reads, no, wait a minute. Abilene Tucker feels abandoned. Her father has put her on a train, sending her off to live with an old friend for the summer while he works a railroad job. Armed only with a few possessions and her list of universals, Abilene jumps off the train in Manifest, Kansas, aiming to learn about the boy her father once was. Having heard stories about Manifest, Abilene is disappointed to find that it's just a worn-out old town, but her disappointment quickly turns to excitement when she discovers a hidden cigar box full of mementos, including some old letters that mention a spy known as the Rattler. These mysterious letters send Abilene and her new friends, Letty and Ruth Ann, on an honest-to-goodness spy hunt, even though they are warned to leave well enough alone. Abilene throws all caution aside when she heads down the mysterious path to perdition, to pay a debt to the reclusive Miss Sadie, a diviner who only tells stories from the past. It seems that Manifest's history is full of colorful and shadowy characters and long-held secrets, and as those secrets are laid bare one by one, Abilene begins to weave her own story into the fabric of the town. Powerful in its Powerful in its simplicity and rich in historical detail, Claire Vanderpool's debut novel is a gripping story of loss and redemption. And the Middle Grade March readathon is for the whole month of March as well, and it is where you read middle grade books the whole month of March. And then the other one that I have is a classic, and I'm gonna count the Nancy Drew book for that. And then the first book that I talked about, that I'd already started, 8 Keys, it's a middle grade book as well. It doesn't fit any of the challenges, but it's a middle grade book, so it counts for middle grade March. The other challenges are a book adapted into a movie or TV show, a childhood favorite, and a book with diversity of any kind. And the reason I don't have anything for those is because I got all my books from the library, and all the ones that I wanted for those challenges, they didn't have at the library. So I just decided I would wait and figure out later books to go with those challenges. And this was started by BooksandJams, Krista, and I can't remember who else. I think her name is Katie, but I can't remember her channel name. And on Tuesday, the 28th, Tuesday? No, maybe it's Wednesday. I'm not sure. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday. They're gonna do an Instagram live, and it's gonna be talking about what exactly a middle grade is and everything. So you can watch that, and there's gonna be another one sometime. I'll link both of those down below, and I'll also link my previous video that I uploaded that has all the posts for March Mystery Madness, because there's a lot of them, and I'm tired, and I don't want to write them all down. So let me know if you're gonna do this challenge, and if you have any videos or blogs or any social media that you could link that has any TBRs or anything about these challenges, just link them in the comments below. And if not, you can tell me any book suggestions or anything you might want to read in the month of March. And happy reading, and God bless.